Hello friends, welcome back to this video series on saluting women in history. The history of Indian women is full of pioneers who have broken gender barriers and worked hard for their rights and made progress in almost all the fields. And I have been trying to dig into our history timelines and come out with names of India's female unsung heroes. By taking the video series forward, I have chosen those first Indian women who have pioneered a career in aviation and transport. They were not just the first women to operate different means of transport, but their story of success is as inspiring as anyone's today. Sarla Thakral. She was the first Indian woman to fly an aircraft. She was fiercely ambitious who got an aviation pilot license in 1936 when she was just 21 years old. When Sarla took her first flight, she was not just married but also a mother of a 4-year-old daughter, and she stepped into the cockpit in a sari. Kanika Tekriwal. She is the CEO and founder of Jet Set Go. The Jet Set Go operates India's largest private jet and helicopter fleet and currently holds over 20% of the total market as single largest market shareholder. Ms. Kanika Tekriwal was only chosen as one of the 100 most inspirational women in the world by BBC and also recognized by Forbes Asia as one of the under 30 leading entrepreneurs in Asia amongst various other. Prem Mathur. She became the first Indian woman to get a pilot's license in 1932 and she was the first Indian woman commercial pilot in the Deccan Airways. Captain Durga Banerjee. She was the first woman pilot of Okinawa Airlines in Japan in 1956. Started her aviation career flying an aircraft with Air Survey of Japan as a DC-3 pilot in 1959 and she becomes the first Indian woman pilot of the state airline. Kumudammal. She was the daughter of the famous lawyer in Madras, V.L. Narasimhacharya, and she was the first woman pilot in Madras. Hina Jaiswal. She has scripted history by becoming the first woman flight engineer to be inducted by the Indian Air Force. Captain Arohi Pandit. She became the world's first woman to cross the Atlantic Ocean solo in light sports aircraft, thrilling her family, friends and aviation circles. Avani Chaturvedi. Flight Lieutenant Avani Chaturvedi is an Indian pilot from Rewa district and she was declared as the first woman combat pilot along with two of her cohorts, Mohana Singh Jitarwal and Bhavna Kant. Susan R.D. Tata. She becomes the first Indian woman to drive a car. Surekha Shankar Yadav. She was appointed as the driver for the goods train and was promoted to the position of motor woman in 2000. In 2010, she was appointed as the driver on the railway line at Western Ghats and was promoted to the post of express mail driver in 2011. Mumtaz Qazi. She became the first Asian woman to drive a diesel locomotive in September 1991. N. Priyanka. It is a rite of passage that most youngsters aspire to grow up to become a train driver, but young Priyanka had no such ambition. All she wanted was a well-paying job and this 20-year-old did the land one as the first woman loco-pilot of Namma Metro. To top it, she drove the inaugural train from MG Road to Bayapanahalli, Bangalore. Sheila Dore. She is the first Indian woman to become an auto driver as early as 1988. Recorded in the Limca Book of World Records as the first woman auto rickshaw driver in the country, Sheila Dore never in her life imagined becoming a trailblazer to women who dreamt of driving auto rickshaws but restrained themselves because it was a male-dominated sphere. M. Vasantakumari. She is from Kanyakumari and is Asia's first woman bus driver. She joined service in 1993. She took up driving to support her family of 6 children and she is regular on the route between Nagarkoil and Thiruvananthapuram. She wants to open a driving school for women and she has been conferred with the Raindrops Achiever Award recently. Since time immemorial, India is famed for its rich contribution to the field of science and mathematics. In fact, the concept of zero as a number and decimal system were inventions of brilliant mathematicians of ancient India. India's rich history is replete with examples of several great scientists who have brought immense pride to the nation. For so long, the male scientists dominated the tech world in all aspects. Women were overlooked when men are at the helm of things. Women have a lot of catching up to do. They are making every possible attempt to carve out a reputation for themselves as successful women scientists who have contributed significantly to various disciplines of science. Anandibai Gopal Rao Joshi. She was the first female Indian physician and was also the first woman in India to complete her studies in Western medicine from the United States. Anandibai has a rich legacy and inspired many women to pursue the field of medicine in India and in the US. Doordarshan also based its television series on her life, and American feminist writer Carolyn Wells Haley Dahl penned down her biography in 1888. Thus, she has created history by making huge strides so early in her life in a field which required precision and extensive education. Kadambini Ganguly. Gynecologist by profession, she was one of the first two women in India to have a college degree and the first Indian to practice medicine. She worked as a doctor till she was 61, and she was also the first female speaker at the Indian National Congress. In 1886, Kadambini Ganguly and Anandibai Gopal Joshi became the first women from India to be trained in Western medicine. Janaki Ammal. She was the first Indian scientist to have received the Padma Shri Award in 1977, and she went on to occupy the reputed post of the Director General of the Botanical Survey of India. In 1900s, Janaki Ammal took up botany, which was an unusual choice for women, and she obtained an honours degree in botany from the Presidency College in 1921. She pursued scientific research in cytogenetics, a branch of genetics that is concerned with how the chromosomes can relate to the cell behavior and phytogeography, and it is concerned with the geographic distribution of the plant species as well. Janaki Ammal's most renowned work is on sugarcane and brinjal. Kamala Sohoni. She was the first Indian woman to have bagged a PhD degree in the scientific discipline. She applied to the Indian Institute of Science for a research fellowship and met with rejection merely because she was a woman. She was the first female student of Professor C.V. Raman, who was then the director of the Indian Institute of Science. Due to her excellent performance, Raman gave her permission to pursue further research. She discovered that every cell of a plant tissue contained the enzyme cytochrome C, which was involved in the oxidation of all plant cells. Asima Chatterjee. She is regarded highly for her works in the fields of organic chemistry and phytochemistry. She graduated in chemistry from the Scottish Church College of the University of Calcutta in 1936 and then pursued her research. In 1975, she was conferred the prestigious Padma Bhushan and became the first lady scientist to be elected as the General President of the Indian Science Congress Association. She was conferred the Doctorate of Science. She was nominated by the President of India as a member of the Rajya Sabha from February 1982 to May 1990. Rajeshwari Chatterjee. She was the first woman engineer from the state of Karnataka and received a government scholarship to study abroad in 1946. She studied at the University of Michigan, where she obtained her master's degree from the Department of Electrical Engineering. After obtaining a doctorate degree, she returned to India and joined the Department of Electrical Communication Engineering at Indian Institute of Science as a faculty member, where she, along with her husband, set up a microwave research laboratory where they did pioneering work on microwave engineering. Shakuntala A. Bhagat. She was the first woman civil engineer with her husband Anirudh S. Bhagat, and they were engaged in research and development in bridge superstructures. They jointly evolved the first ever total systems approach in this field, which involved using standardized modular parts applicable across various types of bridges of different spans and traffic widths and loading, merely through permutations in assemblies. Shakuntala Bhagat worked as assistant professor in civil engineering in IIT Bombay from 1960 to 1970. She designed over 200 quadricon steel bridges of spans ranging from 18 meter to 138 meter. Shakuntala A. Bhagat was awarded the Woman Engineer of the Year award in 1993. Kamal Ranadive. She was a renowned Indian biomedical researcher who is known for her research in cancer. She established the first tissue culture laboratory in India and founded the Indian Women Scientists Association. She also received the Watermole Foundation Award for her work in the field of leprosy. Gagandeep Kang. She is a virologist and scientist and is known for her interdisciplinary research in transmission, development and prevention of enteric infections and their sequelae in children in India. She has been elected as a Fellow of the Royal Society and the first Indian woman scientist to receive this honor. She is the Executive Director of the Translational Health Sciences and Technology Institute, Faridabad, and is the Chairperson of the World Health Organization and the Southeast Asia's Immunization Technically Advisory Group. She investigates on the complex relationship between infection, gut function, and physical and cognitive development and seeking to build a stronger human immunology research in India. Archana Sharma. She was an Indian woman botanist, a cytogeneticist, cell biologist, and a cytotoxicologist. She was the founding editor of The Nucleus, which is an international journal of cytology. She researched chromosomes of reproductive plants, pesticides, and other environmental agents. She was also associated with the Government of India across the departments, including the Science and Engineering Research Council of the Department of Science and Technology, Environmental Research Council of the Ministry of Environment and Forest, and the Ministry of Human Resource Development. Anna Mani. She was an Indian physicist and meteorologist, and she was the Deputy Director General of the Indian Meteorological Department. She made significant contributions in the field of meteorological instrumentation. She conducted research and published numerous papers on solar radiation, ozone, and wind energy measurements. Passionate about nature, trekking, and bird watching, she was a member of many scientific organizations. In 1987, she received the INSA K.R. Ramanathan Medal for her achievements. Kalpana Chawla. She became the first Indian-born woman astronaut to have forayed into the space. She first flew on a Space Shuttle Columbia in 1997 as a mission specialist and primary robotic arm operator. She then moved to the US in 1982 and obtained a Master of Science degree in Aerospace Engineering from the University of Texas at Arlington in 1984 and earned a second master's in 1986 and a PhD in Aerospace Engineering in 1988 from the University of Colorado. Chawla was one of the crew members who died in the Space Shuttle Columbia disaster on February 1, 2003. The tragedy occurred when the Space Shuttle disintegrated while returning into the Earth's atmosphere. Biba Chowdhury. She is a physicist and is one of the early contributors of science and has a star named after her. In December 2019, the star, which is nearly 340 light years away from us, was named Biba to honor Indian women contribution in science. Chowdhury was known for her work on elementary particle physics and cosmic rays and was also the only girl student in a master's course in physics in 1934. Airavati Karve. She is the first female Indian anthropologist who made a way in the male-dominated discipline in the Indian society. Her multidisciplinary work includes storytelling and philosophy. Her famous book Yuganta was awarded the Sahitya Academy Award for Marathi in 1968, making her the first female author in the state to receive it. The Department of Anthropology, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Bhavan of Savitribai Phule University also has a museum called Airavati Karve Museum of Anthropology, preserving the cultural values of the Indian society. Dr. Indra Hinduja. With a doctorate degree in human in vitro fertilization and embryo transfer from the Bombay University, Dr. Indra Hinduja is an Indian gynecologist, obstetrician, and infertility specialist who pioneered the gamete intrafallopian transfer technique, resulting in the birth of India's first GIFT baby on 4th January 1988. Prior to this, she delivered India's first test tube baby at KEM Hospital on 6th August 1986. Dr. Indra Hinduja is also credited for developing an oocyte donation technique for menopausal and premature ovarian failure patients, giving the country's first baby out of this technique on 24 January 1991. Darshan Ranganathan. She is an organic chemist from India who was known for her work in bioorganic chemistry. She was an elected fellow of the Indian Academy of Sciences, Indian National Science Academy, and the recipient of many honors, including the Third World Academy of Science Award in Chemistry. Raman Parimala. She was an Indian mathematician known for her contribution to algebra. She has several awards to her name like Bhatnagar Award, Srinivasa Ramanujan Birth Centenary Award, TWAS Prize, and was also a member of the Indian Academy of Sciences and American Mathematical Society. Shubha Tole. She is well known for her contribution in the field of neuroscience. She was a recipient of Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize in 2010 and currently works at Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Mumbai. Paramjit Khurana is known for inventing all-weather seeds. She developed hybrid strains of mulberry, wheat and rice that are drought-resistant and can withstand heat and have a higher UV radiation capacity, thus helping the farmers who depend on weather conditions for their crops. Dr. Aditi Pant. A successful oceanographer, Dr. Aditi Pant was the first Indian woman to visit Antarctica in 1983 as a part of the Indian expedition to study geology and oceanography. Pant was inspired to take up oceanography when she came across the book The Open Sea by Alistair Hardy when she was a BSc student at the University of Pune. She got a US government scholarship to study an MS in Marine Sciences in the University of Hawaii. She did her PhD in Westfield College, London, and her PhD thesis was based on the physiology of marine algae. She made the entire Indian nation proud by becoming the first Indian woman to participate in the Antarctic expedition. She and her teammates have made significant contributions in the project and was awarded alongside her 3 colleagues for their valuable efforts. She later took up a job in the National Institute of Oceanography and the National Chemical Laboratory. Madhuri Mathur. Contrary to the popular belief that Sumit was a brand born in southern India, Sumit was actually developed and designed in Mumbai. Mrs. Madhuri Mathur used the Braun blender from Germany for most of her cooking. While it was efficient, she noticed that it could not break down the spices used in Indian cooking. In 1963, Mr. Mathur floated a company called Power Control and Appliances Company. 4 employees from Siemens India joined him. Within 2 years, they had a workable electric motor, and by 1970, they had designed a single jar for dry mixing as well as wet grinding. 50,000 Sumit mixies were being sold every month. Dr. Valarmati. She is an Indian scientist and project director of RISAT-1, the India's first indigenously developed radar imaging satellite. She has been working with the ISRO since 1984 and involved in many missions including INSAT-2A, IRS-1C, IRS-1D, TES. She is the second woman scientist of Indian Space Research Organization to head a prestigious project after Anuradha, the project director of GSAT-12 mission in 2011. Dr. Valarmadi is the first person to receive Abdul Kalam Award instituted by the government of Tamil Nadu in honor of the former President Abdul Kalam in 2015. And this award is being given in recognition of contributions on scientific development, humanities and students' welfare. Tessie Thomas. She is the first Indian woman scientist to have headed a missile project, earning her the nickname Missile Lady. She was the project director for the Agni 4 and Agni 5 missile of Defense and Research Development Organization, and she is the recipient of the Lal Bahadur Shastri National Award for her work in the field of missile technology in India. Ritu Karidal. As a mission director of the Chandrayaan-2 mission, she was fitted for a role in helming one of India's most ambitious lunar projects. She was responsible for detailing and the execution of Kraft's onward autonomy system that independently operated the satellite functions in space and responded appropriately to malfunctions. She has been dubbed as the Rocket Woman of India when she joined ISRO in 2007 and was also the Deputy Operation Director to India's Mars Orbiter mission Mangalyaan. In 2007, she received the ISRO Young Scientist Award from APJ Abdul Kalam, the then President of India. Muttaya Vanitha. She is the project director of Chandrayaan-2 and she is the first woman to lead the interplanetary mission at ISRO. She was promoted from Associate Director to Project Director of the mission. She has worked at ISRO for over 3 decades and she has occupied several roles, and she also managed data operations for remote sensing satellites. In 2006, she received the Best Woman Scientist Award. Mangala Mani, the Polar Woman of ISRO. Mangala Mani is ISRO's first woman scientist to spend more than a year in the icy landscape of Antarctica. In November 2016, she was a part of 23-member team that went on an expedition to Bharati, India's research station in Antarctica, and she spent 403 days at the southernmost continent operating and maintaining ISRO's ground station. Kamakshi Sivaramakrishnan. She is on board NASA's New Horizon mission, which is probing Pluto. She is responsible for building the algorithm and the chip that is responsible for bringing information from Pluto. She explored the idea of machine learning stack as lead scientist at ADMOB, after which she began research where her technology led her to work closely with the cosmos. Chandrima Shaha. She is a biologist and the first ever woman president of the Indian National Science Academy. She specializes in cell biology and has conducted extensive research about the Leishmania parasite which causes Kala Azar. She has also authored over 80 research papers and received many awards like the Shakuntala Amirchand Award and the Special Award for the 50th anniversary of DNA double helix discovery for significant contributions towards understanding of cell death processes in different model organisms. Debjani Ghosh. She is a Bangladeshi-born researcher of the University of Ulm and she is currently researching on how to create a new hybrid system of zero emission of electric airliners. She is also working on the power generation management of the next generation of HY4 aircraft. She is a firm believer in the power of technology in enhancing lives and livelihoods, leveraging it for societal good, and she was instrumental in developing Think Digital, Think India strategy to support India's digital transformation journey, especially as an enabler of inclusive growth and development. Charushita Chakravarti is known for her work on the basis of molecules and effects of change in molecular base on DNA proteins. She has also worked on classical and quantum Monte Carlo, molecular dynamics and structure and dynamics of liquids. Earned her Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize and B.M. Birla Science Award. She worked as a chemistry professor at IIT Delhi. Usha Zahar. She is the Director and Chief Technology Officer at Maharashtra Hybrid Seeds Company Private Limited, where she has been utilizing biotechnological tools for improving the quality and productivity of seeds and agriculture. She has the distinction of producing India's first genetically modified food, BT brinjal. Therefore, the women scientists are very rare in number and there are not many who are extending their services in the field of science. But as far as the presence is concerned, they have made significant contributions to scientific discovery and pushed the boundaries beyond human knowledge. Therefore, we can say that women have made great strides in the industry, but we still are a minority. Women pilots are at least at 13% as engineers in aviation, and we are still at 6%. As women, they have overcome the physical challenges of the job, but there is still this unacknowledged challenge of societal norms. But yet, we need to salute all these trailblazers who did not give up their dreams in the face of opposition and continues to inspire a generation of women across India. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video with another important topic.